Hello, David. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Very good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Looking forward to learn a little bit more about finance from you today. And of
Yeah.
course, as well, the startup world. So it's a very interesting topic. But before we go into this, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you and how did you get to where you are today?
Yeah. How did I get into this? Is a combination of my academic background, because I studied computer science and I was a geek. I've always loved technology. But when I graduated from college, being in technology wasn't a cool thing. It didn't pay well. And at that point in time, what you had to do was business. So I went into management consulting and I worked there for 10, 15 years. And it was great. Most of the time, I specialized working in banking and wealth management. So then, when the world evolved and fintech started becoming a thing, I found that opportunity to put together my academic intellectual interests and my profession and start working on fintech. I invested in some friends' business. I launched one, I collaborated with others, I became an advisor. And now Exirio is the conclusion of all that, putting together what I know from those worlds.
Tell us a little bit more of what Exirio is.
So Exidio is an app that lets you track your wealth. The problem we're solving is that nowadays people with some money, they don't have to be super rich, but with some complexity in their wealth, they can have a house, they can have crypto, they can have stocks, they can have a current account, a credit card, a mortgage, especially if it's people who have work in different countries, then they're going to have multiple currencies. So at some point in time, talking to friends and talking to our co-founder, everybody that we knew, especially expats that had this problem, was using a spreadsheet. We were wondering how is it possible that in 2020 we're still using a spreadsheet for this, and nobody was developing it, nobody was doing it. So we decided to do it ourselves, and that's what we've built: an app to track all your wealth in one place.
And I can tell you it's awesome for people like myself. Not because of the wealth part, but it's more about the complexity, like you mentioned. I have lived in 6 countries. I have still
Cool.
accounts in at least five countries, and a lot of different currencies, and everything is a huge mess. So what I did, I started an Excel table and do all the numbers in an Excel table, sometimes on a daily base, but at least twice a week for sure, where I get an
Cool.
overview of what's going on.
Yeah, so we've all been there. And with the spreadsheet, yeah, you need to update. You are quite hardcore in updating, but at least once a month. And you need to make sure that the values, when you're using a spreadsheet, they're all from a similar date, and you need the exchange rates. It's just a lot of work. So even the very basic version of the app, well, when we managed to solve all that FX issues, was good enough. And then we've been adding tons of features that should make life easier to anybody who wants to understand what they own and how it is performing.
Yeah. Let's talk about a little bit about the how did you get to the exact idea? So you have lived in different countries and your co-founders most probably as well, and then
Yes.
just brainstormed based on, hey, we all have kind of an Excel table or something. How did you came up with the idea in detail?
It's been iterative. So it started just like that, saying, how is it possible that we're using a spreadsheet? And everybody thinks that a spreadsheet is better. Oh, but look at mine and use mine. But it's impossible to use someone else's spreadsheet.
Yeah.
You need a properly designed application for this. So we decided to put some time and some money and give it a go. I reached out to some people I had worked with in India that work in finance and trading. So it was very easy to assemble the team very quickly. That's been one of our easiest bits has been the team because we got lucky. And very quickly we launched the prototype. We put it open for anyone to use. We keep iterating. We stay on top of users all the time, asking for feedback. Yeah, we already have a list of 200 things we want to develop that users have requested. So it
Yeah,
never ends.
that's cool. So, two points. I would love to dig deeper into the app and the functionalities, but as well into the funding of the company and the startup and how you started to build it. But let's start first with the finance topics. So, why is it important to track it? What is your opinion that do you think everyone should track it? I'm completely convinced, but let's.
Right now, we get most of our users for people like you that already understand the need. There's enough. There's enough of you out there. But having said that, why is important? Look, money doesn't solve all problems, but it solves all money problems. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it helps a lot in not having money problems. So even though we've built an app to track your wealth, our vision is to help people reach financial freedom. Once you reach financial freedom, you do whatever you want. You probably keep working on things you're passionate about. And that's a fantastic place to be in. If you want to be happy, I strongly recommend sort out your money issues first, because without that, it's just going to be really hard. So, in order to get there, you need to know where your money is and you need to have your money working for you. It's very easy to have money parked there in a current account and not making any money, or
Mm.
giving to the wrong provider that is killing you in fees, or not knowing exactly what you do. A lot of people say real estate is the best investment. Well, maybe, but a lot of them don't do the right math. So it could be, but sometimes it's not. So we're trying to help you really understand how much you have, where is it, and how it is performing, so you can make these right decisions and be on your path towards financial freedom.
That's cool. So how do you do that with the performing? How can I, so my if we just compare this to my Excel spreadsheet, I do different formulas and try to calculate what is my net worth and so on. Are
Yeah.
you doing these things as well?
Yes, the net worth is the number one issue, super easy. We just convert everything at whichever is the latest valuation that we have. We convert it into your own currency and we give you a number. And you have that for your whole history for the future. And we also build the history. But once you want to go deeper into the performance of your investments, we calculate performance metrics for each of the investments. How much absolute money you've made, how much is that in percentage, and most importantly, which we are the only app in the market that does this, will give you the annualized money weighted return, or IRR,
Yeah.
which we believe is the ultimate metric that can't really compare. Because you'll find people that say, I bought my house at 100, now it's worth 200. So it's a great investment, but they forget to tell you whether that was in a year or in 25 years. So we try to give all sorts of metrics, the absolute ones and the annualized return, which tells you exactly how those compare. And we also break it down, if you want, into is it due to the asset itself or through currency fluctuations. So we allow you to see that in your own currency or in the currency of the investment, and just give you a lot of options to really understand how things are performing.
Yeah. You talked already about the investment and the connection. I'm really interested in how does that work? So I have different accounts in different countries. How do you get to know that it is working? That how do you get the data from all of this? Do I need to punch them in or do you connect to APIs? How does that work?
Both. So the manual option is always available. You can put anything you want, and if you give me the cash flows, how much money you put in, how much money you put out, with the date and the number, I'll give you the metrics. But of course, if you are a trader and you have a complex portfolio, or you're doing a lot of crypto, that's a lot of work. Even downloading and uploading files, even though it's doable, it's a lot of work. So we provide automatic connections to tens of thousands of, not tens of thousands, more than 10,000 institutions in North America and in Europe, and all sorts of crypto exchanges. We work with partners to provide that, so you can directly connect your financial institution, and we will pull all the historical information, all the dates, all the money, all the buys, all the sells, all the deposits, all the withdrawals, and then keep that up to date without you having to do anything.
That's awesome. That will be for sure the biggest question will be in the beginning safety, alarm bells.
Absolutely.
So, do you keep the data safe that, let's say, not every one of your employees can see your salary or what you do? And how does that work?
It is a combination. Nobody can say this is 100% safe, because there are always attacks, even on Google and Apple. But we do follow best practices. That includes very few people have access to the database. The information is, of course, encrypted. The personally identifiable information, like your email address or your name, is encrypted twice. Everything is encrypted in transit and at rest. We've been running a bug bounty program. Again, I think we're the only ones since day one. We welcome hackers, white hackers from all over the world to attack us and trying to find gaps, and we'll reward them when, if and when that happens. We do follow all best practices, and also we don't ask for any personal information. If you want to open an account saying that you are Mickey Mouse at gmail.com, I don't care. I don't need to know who you are.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't want to know it. It's less of a headache for me. Just put the numbers. I'll give you the numbers back, and I'll never know who you are.
But how does it work? So let's say I have an account in Germany with the normal German, let's say Deutsche Bank, for example, in Germany. I have an account, and then I can link. So I need to I need to download the app. I need to link, or most probably create a profile, and then I need to link this account to the app. How does that work?
Yes. So yeah, you create an account with, as I, the only thing we need is an email address. We don't need any personal information, just an email address where we can send you the emails to confirm. And then, yeah, it will go through one of a third party providers of connections. You don't give the username and password to me. We
Yeah.
don't have it. If it's a modern financial institution, you don't even give it to this connector. You when you go to Deutsche Bank, I don't know Deutsche Bank for sure, but you will log in there, they will send us a token, and with that token, we can go and ask for the data.
Yeah.
The only thing we pull are the numbers. So again, I don't need to know, I don't ask the bank for your name or your address. I just get the numbers. To be completely honest, sometimes in some of the comment and note fields, we receive some names which you can delete, but that's more of, yeah, where the bank puts the information when we call the
Yeah.
API. We really just want the numbers. We don't want any names.
Yeah. Do I then see as well the spend? So let's say I was shopping grocery yesterday,
Yeah.
I was buying a new phone. Do you see that as well in details?
That's something we do not do. And
Huh.
the reason being is that there were already a number of applications to do this in the market
Yeah.
that work quite well. So we've been trying to solve a different problem. We do bring the balance of your current account and your movements, but we are not putting any effort in providing you with analysis of how much money you spent on coffee or groceries. We think there's value in that, but that's not what we do.
Yeah.
We're targeting a higher level, which is your investments, your wealth.
So if I understand you right, I log in and I see the bank account statement of that day or of that second. So let's say I have 1,000 euros on my German Deutsche Bank account, and that's part of all the numbers that are put together in the app. That's
Exactly. And if the bank provides us with it, also all the history, not only today, you can see all the history, so you can build it. But yeah, we won't be analyzing a lot of the transactions in the current account. But if you have a broker account where you've bought shares and sold shares, and that is the information we're interested in, the
yeah.
investments.
Okay, yeah, because if you have bought something, let's say a year ago, that was a different price than if you know it today. So then I would link my brokerage account to the app as well, and then you get the historical data. Let's say a year ago, I was buying Bitcoin or whatever, shares of
Exactly. Yeah.
Apple. Huh.
Exactly. We get, even if it's 5 years ago, we get those buys, those sells, the dividends, the fees, everything. Assuming the broker sends it. Sometimes it does. Sometimes they don't send some information, so you might need to complement it if they don't send it.
Yeah,
But if they send it, yeah, we pull all that and we'll tell you that you have had a 12.3 annualized return on your investments or whatever it is.
that's cool. How does that work with the house? You mentioned the house, like buying a house, and then how do
The
you?
house The house is mostly manual because most markets don't have that sort of information. So
Huh.
for the house, you would enter manually the deposits you made, the transactions you made, and the valuation manually, which we do add, which we do help you with is a mortgage calculator. So if you have a mortgage, you can add the terms of the mortgage. So every month will automatically generate the interest payments and the capital repayments to make your life easier. You can edit those as well if you want. And one thing that I recommend, again, this is manual, but if you want to do it better, one thing that I do recommend to people that invest in real estate, if you add all your income and expense transactions, let's say something breaks, a window breaks, you need to fix it, you need to change the tap, you need to
Mm.
pay a notary, or you have some income because you've put it on Airbnb or you've rented it out or whatever. If you put all that, will give you the real return. I know very few people who know exactly how much is the real return in their investments because they say I bought it at 100, now it's worth 200, and say what about notary fees, what about taxes, oh
Yeah,
that's, I don't know, what about maintenance, I don't know. If you take the time to put it in, we'll give you the exact number. And if you have a mortgage, we'll also give you the exact number taking into account leverage, so you can truly compare and understand how you're doing.
that's awesome. So for everyone, have a look at Exirio. That's, I guess it's on App Store, Google Store, wherever, right?
Desktop, App Store, Android, anything, yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely, I was playing a little bit around. It's definitely worth it. I might dump my whole Excel spreadsheet in. within the next couple of weeks. So I've set my goal to do a little bit of testing during the Christmas break and see how that works. So it's
Yeah,
very cool.
and just to mention a few bells and whistles that maybe you or the audience finds interesting, apart from all these numbers, you can also upload your documents. So if you want to upload the title deed or the mortgage documents, so that everything is in one place and you don't have to put everything in some other folder. And also, which we think is quite important, you can share that information and give access to either your financial advisor or your spouse or your partner or your parents, both in case they want to manage it or in case something happens to you. So you can put an emergency contact that if you don't log in 3 months, will give access to someone else. Because again, in this profile like you, that people have lived everywhere.
Yeah,
If something ever happens to you, of course, nobody wants that. Yeah, nobody will know where that money is.
that's true. Talking about the advising, do you give advice as well on where to invest, or is it just showing you the numbers?
Yeah, at the moment we are not licensed to provide advice, so we cannot provide any advice. It is in the long-term roadmap. There are many things we want to do. We want to advise. We want to give access to people to financial investment opportunities. We want to help with retirement planning. There's a million things we want to do, but yeah,
Yeah.
at the moment we comply with the law. No advice.
No, I get that. And it also means if we stay with that, you don't need a banking license or something like that because it's all external providers.
Correct. The partners that provide us with the connectivity in some countries they need a license. Like in Europe, they need a license.
Yeah.
Crypto, obviously, no license because that's still ongoing. In the US, no license. So it varies by country. But yeah, at the moment, we don't need it.
Yeah.
We're a US
Cool.
we're a US company,
Yeah.
and there's no license for this activity.
Yeah. Let's go into the company. I'm interested. So it's still a startup, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So how did you get started? So you're the main founder and I think CEO.
Yeah, the titles don't mean much in a startup, but yes,
No, I
I
know.
was very quickly. I reached out to this team of developers that I knew in India, so they developed the first prototypes, and that was super quick. And my co-founder joined like a month later, just because we hadn't made it official, but we had been talking about it. Yeah, so that was the core team. And then we've added a few more developers. A designer has been working great. Now trying to also expand in our team in marketing. It's always been a combination of good luck and keep trying, but we've been very lucky with the team. I know that not all the startups have this fortune, but for us, it's been quite easy to find the right team.
Yeah. Then another thing, you're not all sitting in one office, right?
No, we're all sitting at home or wherever they are. As I said, we want to help people with financial freedom. So we live our values and we give people freedom to work from whenever they want. I sometimes wonder what would happen if we were all in the same office because we did one trip where we all sat together for 2 days and it was great and it was very productive.
Yeah.
So I sometimes wonder, we're all learning this new way of working. I love that people have the freedom, but yeah, we still have a lot to learn on how to be the most productive with this approach.
Yeah. I think that's in all companies, doesn't matter which size in the moment, everyone needs to figure out what's the right setting.
Yeah, I was listening to some podcast of, I guess, yesterday, three companies doing the same, and everybody has question marks on this. Yeah, let's see.
So then I have read that you have been as well in an accelerator or incubator. No, accelerator, sorry. If I've
Yeah,
seen that right.
yeah. The latest one we joined Founder University from Jason Calacanis, which is a very famous angel investor. Yeah, that was this month, quite useful. So yeah, it's always good, and it was a very quick program, getting exposed to a lot of the things that early stage companies need, like accounting and legal and marketing and getting your first users. So that was quite good. And we're also in another program with Loyal VC, which is it's a venture capital investment, but they also have this earlier stage program where you get to work with them monthly to go on to the next scale.
Yeah. How about financing? Did you finance all of that out of your own pocket or did you get investors in early on?
They use what we started from our own pocket. Then we had a friends and family round, and also of early users who really liked it. Then, as I said, we are working with this institutional investor, and hopefully we'll do our first big institutional money round some point in 2023.
Yeah. Awesome.
But we are very frugal. Every little dollar counts.
That's how it is in the beginning.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a fintech startup.
Yeah.
I can
At
imagine.
least we're good with money, so we know how to manage it. That's,
Yeah, exactly.
that's the one thing we do right.
So if we go back to Founders University, if we take that example, what are the things that you expected to learn and what are the things you didn't expect but did learn?
I think probably things like accounting and legal, I was expecting maybe to be told you're doing it all wrong and you have to do it differently because there's not a lot I know about US accounting and tax.
Yeah.
But it was, I think, okay, or we weren't surprised. The other thing that we've been asking for help all the time is marketing, and that was actually super useful to learn how do you get your first users because there are, people have all sorts of different opinions, and one gets bombarded every week by people saying, "Oh, you need to buy backlinks, or you need to buy press releases." Or you need to buy digital ads, and it's always just pay me or you'll never
Yeah.
grow. So it was good to hear from people who have done it. And right now, our strategy is going to be to focus on a very narrow niche of our users. As I said at the beginning, people who already understand the need, so I
Yeah.
don't need to educate them. People who already have the complexity in the finances, so expats, people of the nationalities that we provide most connectivity for. We decided to just go very narrow on that one with very specific targeted ads and very specific targeted PR efforts and then grow from there. That was the
Yeah.
learning.
Makes sense. Talking about the American company. So you're living in Spain, if I remember right.
I move a bit. I'm actually most a resident in Dubai, but
Yeah.
because I'm Spanish and I have family there, I go very often.
So how did you then open a US company?
That was easy. So Delaware company is all perfectly normal that you can open a company in Delaware as a non-resident. It's super common. And once you're in Delaware, because that's the most common jurisdiction for US startups, everything is easy. So putting the app in the App Store is easy. Google is easy. Bank account is easy. Actually, we're very happy with the Delaware option. I've worked in other jurisdictions in the past,
Hmm.
and yeah, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, but how did you find that out? Did you have someone helping you setting it up? Did you go there? How
Well,
was the process?
because we've been in the ecosystem for long enough, that you always know some other founder who has done it before. So that's how we got there. Just asking. Yes, we engage legal advice, but the decisions themselves and or who to work with and on how to structure it is mostly from other founders.
Yeah, makes sense. Talking about other founders, are you connected to other founders regularly? How do you exchange and understand what's going on in the ecosystem?
Yeah, again, talking to friends, we have, especially in Dubai, there's a very, I'm sure it exists in every city, but that's what we know. There's a very good community. There's WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups, Discord channels where any question you might have about this early stage stuff, you ask it and you get perfect responses in 5 minutes. Everybody's so keen in helping. Then sometimes in these accelerator programs, you also get in touch with these people. And again, similar Slack forums, tools like that is very easy to get advice on these things.
Yeah. How was it when you started to apply? If we just take the accelerators, how did you get into the accelerators? Because I have had a couple of people who ask me, like, how do you do this? How do you do this? I was just, yeah, apply. I have no idea.
Yeah, you have to be ready to get a lot of no's. Whether you're applying for funding or accelerators or etc., it's just you're gonna get 1, 5, 10% maybe if you're lucky of
Yeah.
yeses. You're gonna get a lot of no's. Again, ask other founders and entrepreneurs which programs they recommend, whether they've liked it, whether you can get an intro. Look on websites, desktop research, because a lot of the times it's not that they don't like you, it's that you are not the right fit. So it could be that
Yeah.
they're looking for a specific geography or a specific sector or a specific stage. So there's a lot of research required to make sure that it's the right fit. We even said no to things we were accepted because we like it. And then when we heard the terms and the requirements, we said, "Oh, actually, it doesn't make sense." So it's just a lot of hustling and trying and be comfortable with no's.
Yeah. Talking about the future. So, where do you want to take the company and as well the.
We want to help people reach financial freedom. So what we want to keep doing is building all this ecosystem of tools to help with that. Yes, there is a wealth tracker now. As I said, we would like to build also a financial planner. Apart from the consumer app, we are also working with financial advisors that they can use it for to help their clients. So there's going to be more development in terms of the features and applications for financial advisors. At some point, we're partnering or ourselves, we like to provide financial advice. So anything around retirement, financial planning, wealth management, that's where we want to be. There's no specific goal. We don't have to be a unicorn or a decacorn. We just want to have impact on our users and of course be profitable because a lot of people believing in us. And of course, we want to remunerate our investors and our employees and everyone. But yeah, the goal is to build something we're proud of and help a lot of people.
Yeah, that's great. Let's get into the last part of the podcast where I'm asking a couple of questions, which I ask every guest. If you could work with a project that is impacting every human being on Earth, what project would you choose to work with and why would you choose that project?
I think my two passions that I wish I could be doing, but I don't know nothing about, will be something on biotechnology or space. I'm sure that somebody will argue that space exploration is too long shot and doesn't impact everyone. So probably in biotech, I think it's just a fascinating world. So many things are happening so fast. I wish I knew something about it. But yeah, curing malaria or cancer or AIDS sound like the ultimate things to work on.
Yeah, that's cool. What advice would you give to a young innovator that's just getting started?
If I would say just do it, start working, especially by you say young innovator. I think the most important thing is that nobody has the answers. There are no visionary, or at least I haven't met any. I haven't met any visionary that knows the future or the answers. So be ready to iterate a lot and a lot. Start something, be embarrassed by the first thing you launch, and iterate a million times. Because the stuff I get from our users, no, there's no way I would have ever guessed it. Even though I've worked in finance and wealth management for so long, there's just no replacement of user feedback.
Yeah, that's cool. So important. David, where can people find you and how can people contact you?
Me, I'm everywhere as David Lecea, Lecea, but I'm also on the company website, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I'm on all of them with the same handle, and I live glued to my phone, so I'm super easy to find. Anything related to Exirio come up super quickly.
Yeah, and I will put the links as well into the show notes and as well to Exirio to the website, and then you can go as well to download the app from the app stores. I highly recommend to do that. David, thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure to have you on the show.
Likewise, thank you so much. It's been fun, and yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.